Awesome. Thank you. Good afternoon. We want to thank you guys for joining us today. We are the ASC Reno commercial team from Cal Poly Pomona. And today we've prepared for this kickoff meeting to talk about our airport police facility for LAX. Some quick team overview. My name is Sebastian Enriquez. I'm the project manager.
My name is Jordan Brito. I'm a project engineer.
I'm Jordan Vasquez, another project engineer.
I'm Joseph Figueroa, the superintendent.
Matt Moreno, the scheduler.
I'm Julian Maldonado, I'm the estimator.
Today's presentation is going to be compiled of our project overview, project planning, then we'll move on to safety and quality. We'll talk about our proposal summaries, site utilization, schedule, and we'll finish with cost and a summary. Some project overview about this project. This is a new airport police facility. It's a headquarters project for LAX. And the owner of this project is LAWA, Los Angeles World Airports. This is a design build GMP project with a contract designed to budget value of $145 million. The project duration given to this project is 38 months. Moving forward to project planning. Here at Hensel Phelps, we have staffed the project accordingly to ensure efficiency and to reduce employee burnout. In the pre-construction phase, we have allocated one pre-construction manager, a design manager, and a BIM manager. These employees will be working together to develop the design documents and also to develop drawings and schedules. We have also put a QC and a safety engineer throughout the entire duration of the project. This is going to be to ensure efficiency and safety during the construction of this project. Moving on to the construction team. We have allocated one project manager and a superintendent to carry the project out to substantial completion. To assist the project manager, we have allocated 2 project engineers and 4 office engineers. These engineers are going to be in charge of RFIs, submittals, shop drawing review, submittal review, cost management, and document organization. We've also given an office manager to be on the project for the entire duration. This is going to be to acquire documents needed during the pre-construction, construction, and post-construction phase. We've also put 2 summer interns on this project. This is to allow for workload to be distributed and also for the interns to develop fundamental construction knowledge. Moving towards the superintendent side. We have put 3 area superintendents on this project, each one with the specific scope area, the areas being concrete, MEPS, and finishes. To assist these area superintendents, we have put 5 field engineers to assist with constructability review and schedule progression. 2 of these field engineers are going to be in charge of assisting the concrete project engineer due to the vast amount of concrete on this project. That brings us to a total of 22 employees throughout the entire project, and we believe that we have staffed this project accordingly to make sure that we hand over the project efficiently, on time, and under budget. That's all for project planning. Now to our Jordan Brito, our project engineer.
Thank you, Sebastian. As you all know, at Hensel Phelps, safety is our #1 priority. And for this project, we plan to ensure that our employees and trade partners go home the same way that they came to the site. For this job, we've identified 3 high-risk activities, beginning with our post-tensioning of our slab on deck. The hazard we've identified with this is a potential failure of the post-tensioning cables. Now, we have set forth mitigation strategies to keep everyone safe on site and to mitigate these hazards. To mitigate the hazards of our post-tensioning slab on deck, we will be safing off the area during our post-tensioning. We will also be communicating with the owner in order to perform the post-tensioning on the weekends. Additionally, the site access will be restricted to authorized personnel only during post-tensioning. Moving on to our construction of the concrete structure, the hazard we've identified with this is impalement hazards. To mitigate our impalement hazards due to the vast amount of concrete that we will be using on this project, our safety manager will be performing daily check-ins to ensure site safety and rebar caps are being utilized. Lastly, for hoisting material and equipment, the hazard we've identified with this is falling objects, specifically our HVAC and curtain walls, as well as trade partners falling from height. Now, to mitigate falling objects, we will be having pre-lift meetings to ensure safety requirements are met and equipment is free from defects. To mitigate employees falling from height, we are going to implement a fall protection program that clarifies harness and tie-off requirements. Now, to ensure quality is kept on this project, we have implemented 3 quality control measures, beginning with our project orientation. After orientated, project-specific stickers will be given and required to be worn on hard hats. This will assist our superintendent and safety engineers to ensure that everyone on site has been orientated. Moving on to our police chief coordination. We will be working with Los Angeles Police Chief to understand and meet the department's specific needs. Lastly, for our FAA coordination, we will be ensuring to submit all FAA permits that are going to be required, as we will be working within 3 miles of an airport. Additionally, we will be in constant communication and let them know ahead of time when we plan to bring the crane onto site. Lastly, for our emergency locations, we have the nearest police facility located to the west of the project. We have our fire and medical facility located to the east of the project. These are all located 5.5 miles from the project, as well as this information will be printed out and given to everyone during our project orientation. Now I'd like to pass it off to Jordan Vasquez, our project engineer.
Thank you, Jordan Reno. I'm going to be talking about the proposal summary. For this, we have 5 different scopes that we needed to meet, which is concrete masonry, tactical shooting range, curtain walls, weapons rack specialties, and flooring. For concrete masonry, we went with pop, block, and drop it. The main reason for this was because they did cover all scope of work, while some excluded the 8-inch full height wall in specific rooms, and also they included the labor and wage rate. For tactical shooting range, we saw that there was 2 qualified bidders. However, looking through their scope of work, one did not have their bond. Due to this, we decided to go with Bang Bang Shooting Range, even though they weren't the lowest qualified, even though they weren't the lowest bidder, they were the best qualified due to them having their bond. For curtain walls, we went with Blaze and Confused. They were the lowest qualified bidder, plus they also had an EMR rating of 0.75, which means they have a good safety record. Also, they were a qualified trade partner. For weapon rack specialties, we decided to go with licensed to rack. The main reason for this is looking through all the 3 different bids that were given for this scope of work. It was very competitive. Everyone was really close to each other. However, licensed to rack was the lowest bidder. And they also provided all the scope required for this project. Lastly, for flooring, we went with float like a slab, sting like a bee. The reason for this is they were the lowest bidder. They included all the alternates that we decided to go after, which means that they completed all the scope of work that they needed to apply. Next, I would like to move it on to Justin, our superintendent.
Thank you, Jordan. First thing off, I'd like to reiterate the importance of safety on this project. We have implemented a strict safety plan that we have discussed with our PDs prior due to the size of the job site being very constricted. This project is located on Winchester and Loyola Boulevard, a couple blocks north of LAX. We're constructing a new airport police building, which is the new headquarters for the airport police at LAX. I'd also like to mention that there are occupied apartments surrounding the job site, so we have implemented a strict construction schedule in order to mitigate any noise complaints from our neighbors and keep them happy during the duration of the project. Moving on to our nearest highway. The nearest highway is California Highway 405. This highway will be used for concrete delivery as well as material delivery and haulaway. As you can see, Highway 1 right here is closer, but it's not suitable due to the side of the constriction of the roads and the neighborhoods nearby. Moving on to site logistics. We have a 40-foot storage container so our subcontractors can store all their equipment on site. We also have 2 40-yard dumpsters in order to keep the site clean and expedite material haulaway. We also have an emergency gathering area in green that will be used for our pre-shift meetings as well as in the event of emergency. On the south side, you can see our job site trailers as well as our lunch tents in purple, our parking and our floor parties. And to the left of that, you can see our material laydown as well as our spoil storage. Since no dirt will be removed from this project, we have implemented a SWIP program in order to keep the dirt from going through the fence and onto the streets. I'd also like to add that we have track out plates at all 3 entrances and exits in order to keep the streets clean and the neighborhood happy. Moving on for our pump and traffic control plan, Hensel Phelps, we pride ourselves on our ability to self-perform concrete, so we have split the job site into 4 different stations in order to keep the job on track and expedite the concrete pours. We're coordinating with the city to shut down 1 lane of Westchester Parkway in order to stage concrete trucks in the mornings so we can expedite the delivery of our concrete. I'd also like to mention that we have 2 cranes that will be on site later on during the project, here and here. In order to be on site with these cranes, we have to notify the FAA and air traffic control at LAX 5 months ahead of time before we bring our cranes on site. And with that, I'd like to hand it off to Alan, our scheduler.
Thank you, Justin, for giving us that site utilization overview. Now moving on to the schedule. We decided to split this into 8 phases, 4 for design and pre-construction, and 4 for construction. Moving on to phase 1, or basis of design. This will begin in February 2024, which will develop our basic design as well as get our owner's approval. This will be carried out until May 2024. Moving on to phase 2, our schematic design. This will begin in April 2024, in which we'll develop our 30% SDs, as well as develop our 60% detailed design for civil, foundation, structural, our MEPF, and building interior. I do want to state that we decided to, in this stage, we decided to split it into packages due to the fact that we want to meet the owner's notice to proceed with construction. This will carry out to August 2024. Phase 3, our design documents, begins on 2024. We'll develop our 90% DVs for civil, our foundation and structural design, as well as our MEPF for underground utilities, and for the building utilities, as well as our interior building interior. This will carry out until July 2025. On to phase 4, of construction documents. This will begin on January 2025, in which we'll develop our 100% CDs for civil, our foundation structural design, our MEPF, as well as our building interior design. This will carry out to August 2025. In this phase, we also get our permitting to begin construction. In May 9, 2025, we'll mobilize and begin our earthwork, in which we'll begin our setup of trailer, as well as our construction fencing, as well as install our SWIP plan. We also do works such as clear and rough grade and backfill, as well as grade for our foundation. This will carry until June 2025. Our phase 6, our building structure, will begin in 2025, in which we'll excavate, form, reinforce, board, and strip for our reinforced concrete retaining walls, our strip and spread footings, our shear walls, our concrete columns, as well as our slab on grade. We'll also form, reinforce, and pour our post-section slab on deck for 2, 3, and 4 floors. This will carry out to July 2025. Moving on to phase 7, our exterior scan/roof and interior build out. This will begin on January 2026, in which we'll install our exterior CMU, as well as install our metal wall panels, glazing systems, our roof membrane, our roof systems, as well as begin our finishes such as our framing, drywall doors, painting, flooring. This will carry out to January 2027. Moving on to phase 8, our commissioning closeout. This will begin in September 2026, in which we'll establish a pre-punch list, as well as to expedite the process of the punch list for the owner. We'll also obtain substantial completion and our temporary certificate of occupancy. As well, I do want to state throughout the project that we will be collecting our closeout documents from our subcontractors to expedite the process at the very end to compile all closeout documents to turn over to the owner. This will carry out until our final completion for April 15, 2027. I'll now pass it on to Julian, who will go over the cost.
Thank you, Alan. Now for our cost breakdown, there were various trades on this project that took up a large amount of the scope of work. But we wanted to emphasize key points on this project that are significant to us here at HB. Starting with design and pre-construction, which takes up 12% of our total project costs. We have estimated that the design cost alone is $18.5 million, and the pre-construction cost is estimated at $283,000. Moving forward, the total design and pre-con cost is $18.8 million, in which we have come up with a design contingency of 4%. Now, this design contingency will be used for this project for any potential design discrepancies or unforeseen conditions on site while we are still in the design phase. Now, moving forward to concrete, as said earlier in the presentation, we do pride ourselves in our ability to self-perform concrete. So for 4% of the total project cost, we'll be self-performing an estimated cost of just under $6 million for the structural concrete on this project. Furthermore, to break down the cost, of the $5.999 million of total concrete costs that we have, our direct costs are $2.3 million of material, $1.4 million of labor, and $764,000 of equipment. Now, the reason why we decided to pursue self-performing the concrete scope on this project is because of the fact that we will have more control over the schedule and the labor force on this project, therefore be able to drive the schedule if need be, and also maintain and maximize our savings on this project. Now, the self-performed concrete scope is broken up into two sections, with the headquarters estimating the foundations, slab on grade, and slab on deck. We estimated $5.1 million, and for the parking garage, we estimated $436,000 for the foundations and columns. Now, because of the estimates that we have come up with, we were well below the cost of the other subcontractors that sent in their proposals for the same scope of work. And with that, we were able to generously mark up our project in order to maximize our profits and still be a low enough bidder to provide a lower cost for the owner. Moving on to general conditions, which takes up 5% of our total project costs. We've allocated the 5% to this project, estimated at $7.9 million total. This is because we have staffed a very strong team for this project and believe that we can turn over a very good quality project to the owner on time and under budget. So lastly, because of the nature of this project being a progressive GMP design build project, there is potential for design changes. So throughout the design phase, there were requests from ownership, and as we worked with the Chief of Police and LAX. And this brought us to a final GMP estimate of $161 million. With that, we've come up with a 5% contingency, this being to mitigate any risk on the project, such as potential scope gaps or unforeseen conditions on the project. Finally, as a team, we have decided on a 4% fee for this project, which we believe is a moderate and appropriate fee for this market. Also, considering that this is our first project of this magnitude with this owner, we want to provide a good quality project at a lower value for them, at a lower cost, and also maintain our profitability as a company. With that, I'll be passing back to our project manager, Sebastian Enriquez.
Thank you, Julian. To summarize what we've talked about today, as Alan stated previously, this is an 8-phase construction plan. This is a ground-up design-build project with a progressive GMP price. And lastly, I would like to reiterate that we are a dedicated project team, and we have staffed this project accordingly to ensure that we are working strong and efficiently to deliver a valuable product to the owner that is on time and under budget. With that, I'd like to leave it off to questions, and thank you for listening.